Hello, hello everybody. It's a strong feeling for me because I came here a long time ago and I was still a PhD student. I was starting with postdoc and I was wondering if one day I would be on stage and what I would be presenting that day. So I'm very happy here to be able to talk about this project. It was in 1830, Histoires de Registre. The game is available in English. It was natively written in French. You can play it online with the website Lausanne1830.ch. Please, if you want to do that, wait until the end. This project was founded by the PFL, the College of the Humanities, and was created by the Game Lab in the PFL, some members of EPFL, some members of the University of Lausanne, and the game studio Digital Kingdom. I will detail this a bit more later. So with this project, we wanted to showcase, to allow to explore Lausanne 2 centuries ago. And we had a few ambitions with this project. First, we wanted this project to be designed by our own graduate students. We wanted to collaborate with historians, especially from the Lausanne Time Machine Initiative, which is digitizing archives from Lausanne, and with game developers, people with experience, because we do game studies, we do game analysis, we do a lot of things with the games, but you don't improvise yourselves as game designers. So we were happy to collaborate with Digital Kingdom, and we wanted this project to be conceived as a teaching resource in schools for teenagers from 12 to 15 years old. And we also had to create some pedagogical sequences, additional material for the teachers. We had other objectives. We wanted to create an educational game which did not compromise on gameplay and entertainment value. So I'm going to show you how we did that. So I'm always thinking back to this driving license theory tests you can practice. At the time it was on a CD round, and you're just doing quizzes for a few hours, and then you can pass the test easily. We wanted to do the opposite of that. And we wanted to showcase these digitized archives. So there are like canisters, we had a register of all people who were living in Lausanne at the time, and some, of course, we had some images, paintings, stuff like that, digitized press too. And we wanted our students to be able to practice and to learn how to create games. So we hired 3 students, but this was outside the curriculum, so we paid them to work on the project. There was a narrative, game, and level designer. This is one person. There was someone in charge of the graphism, especially the pixel art, and somebody in charge of programming. So this is an image. This is the first screen you see when you leave the guy responsible for the register and you start exploring the city. This is the Place de la Palue in Lausanne, and you see that it's a bit inspired by games like some of the Zelda games, some of the Final Fantasy games, Secret of Mana, stuff like that. We didn't want to compromise on the graphism, so this was a big part of the development because we wanted the kids to really have fun, to want to explore this environment. We also had to give an interesting tasks to do. So we got inspired by Obradin, which was released a few years before, and which allow you to explore the game, to play the game by just gathering information. So we created such a notebook. Right? Ours is a bit shorter than the one we see on the right, but we had all this historical data about Lausanne, and then some of them were missing, and they are hidden in the environment of the game. So this is how we've been working. For example, here to create this first scene. We spent a month on this one because it was our vertical slice, our prototype. We we had to make it work before we could develop the rest of the game. So of course we had to cut a few nice to have and a few other scenes, but we had to have this one working. It's also used as some kind of tutorial. There is one first tutorial, but the first enigma is also entirely solved in this place. So as you can see, we had characters, we had a few written sources. On the right bottom, you have digitized press. We also had images. And from that, we could reconstruct this Place de la Paix. One very interesting thing here that I love to show up front is that, in fact, it's not the Place de la Paix. Buildings were not like that, the floor was not like that. Maybe you can recognize some of the buildings, the town hall, but everything is stick together because it's a video game and you have to have things fitting in the scene. It's not a 3D game. And so one of the first things we teach to the children when we go in the classrooms with this game is that this is a video game and we had to have everything fitting together. But when we play, it's not historically accurate. And when you are playing video games in general, you have to know that people have to make choices when they're designing the games, and you don't have to take everything for face value. Another example, when we had to create this contract, which has a few inns inside of it, so we took some historical sources, and we had to pixelize them. So you see it's a bit more dense, it's difficult to read on the left, we had to keep some of that original feel. We also created a map of the game. This is another compromise because people didn't have maps at the time. So this is some official map on the left. We also took some calasters and we created a map that you are using on the right. And then once again, when we go in the classrooms, we explain to them that this kind of material is here because it's a video game, not because it was used at the time. Of course, there are many things which totally existed at the time that you can see in the game. For example, some of the jobs, some of the places, all the people are taken from the registers, the number of kids they had, their names, their position. So a few other scenes here. Top left, you can see people brewing beer. A few ads on the right, and here, bottom right, is the outside of the brewery. It's near the front. If you've been to Lausanne, maybe you know the front. It's a neighborhood. At the time, it's still nowadays a river. At the time, the river was outside. So kids, when they go there, they're like, what is this? Where is this place? What is the front? And then we can contextualize and start talking about the river, but also about the fact that upstream, on the river, it's another scene. You have people polluting it. For example, there was a butcher, a leatherman who was putting all the dead corpses of the animals in the water. So here in this scene, you have someone who is sick because the water is polluted. So there's a lot of hidden things inspired by historical facts that can lead then to the organization, to the animation of pedagogical sequences. So as an output, we started, once we had this first scene, we started playtesting the game in different classrooms. So we had at least once a month a test. We always had new builds that we could show. We were gathering a lot of very interesting feedback. So of course, the game was always too hard. We had to ease it. We had also to redesign some things to create new tutorials, explanations. We didn't want to have too much text, so we had to find solutions through mechanics and not through adding more text. We are working, it takes a lot of time, but we are working in collaboration with schools and the school system involved to try to have a game inserted into the program. So we had a lot of teachers who used the game in their classes, but it was like to have something which is a bit more systemic. And we were very happy last year in the last Swiss Game Awards to win the serious game category with this game. So here is the development team. The 3 students were Sarah Jones, who has now been hired as a game designer, so we are happy for her. And we think it's a success also for the work projects. Sarah Jalon, who was in charge of the graphism, and Andrew Davis, who was in charge of the programming. I was working as a lead with my colleague Céline Christian and with Isabella Leonardo from the Lausanne Initiative. And we've been working with external experts, so René Bianchi, Rémi Petitpierre, Lucas Rappo, Simon Dupin-Pravo. There's also, no, I think there were some other people helping, but these are the main ones. And of course, we had a lot of chance to be able to work with Digital Kingdom from Lausanne. So they were supervising our students. They helped us a lot at the beginning of the project to choose, in fact, what kind of game we wanted to do, which kind of game mechanics we wanted to have. So it was very fruitful for us to have this collaboration. So the game is available online. We had to create our own websites because the school system in Vaud has a lot of different locks, which we had to circumvent. That's it, I think. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. And there's any questions from the audience? I have, yes.
Yes, thank you, Yannick, for your nice talk. I have a question about the pedagogical scenario. Did you design the pedagogical scenario so that you have a debriefing or something like that? And can you give us some insight about what you did in the classroom?
Yeah, so what we did at the beginning, so we started programming the game, designing and programming the game, and then we asked some of the historians who worked with us to create such pedagogical sheets. So we created a few scenarios where, for example, every time we let the children play the game for 45 minutes, because it's more or less the time we need to play the game, we do that for free. We can give them a small introduction or a few hints at the beginning. And then with the teacher of the classroom, we go back to all this material. So often what we do is go through the historical material we were using. And this is how we experimented at the beginning. But right now we've been working both with teachers and with tacticians. I don't know how to call that, because we realize that it's not easy to improvise yourself as a teacher, and that we need to go more in detail, working with teachers in order to build this structure. So that's what we're doing right now. We are adapting what we did at the beginning. So yeah, I would say there was a lot of improvisation at the beginning, that we are now turning in material which is experimented in the classrooms with the teachers. So I cannot go into more detail. There's already some of this stuff which is on the website, but it's currently being adapted. So I think it's going to be closer to what's used in the classrooms in a few months. Thank you for the question.
I have a following question. Now, you say that you created this game, and now what about it? Can you add content into the game, or what is the future of the game? Is it static, or are you going to add content that is fun?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. It's so the game is finished. We had some time and some remaining budget to create the English version and to correct a few bugs. But right now the project is not under development anymore. But the thing is that everything is open source, even the images. So there is the system, there are the images and all the text. So either people can do some pull requests on GitHub and contribute to the project and create new scenes. This is highly improbable, but somebody could launch a new project and adapt this one to another geographical context, for example. So yeah, it's still open to development, but probably not by us.
Thank you. Any more questions?